patents are not issued on those applications. The second component, as far as patent law is concerned, that there must be a robust compulsory licensing regime for all sorts of reasons. And if you look at America in particular, one of the first uses of compulsory licensing was against the Wright brothers who invented the aeroplane. And that was in order to make sure that they could fight the world wars. So war was considered a sufficient reason in order to issue a compulsory license. And I think other countries can follow the American example. Of course, we need not use war as an excuse. There are natural disasters. There are products that are going obsolete. There is a necessity to make data compatible, interoperable with other operating systems, etc. And archival purposes. The whole range why compulsory should be issued, and that serves as a healthy balance, even if software patents happen to be granted in a particular country. Can we have the next slide, please? These are some key obstructions, and again, I will just let you read through them, and I don't have much to add beyond these broad points that are being made. And many of these reasons are changing rapidly as well. The use and maturity level of software improve year on year. So in the past, while that cause of concern, which is less and less the cause of concern for 3 years. Next slide, please. So I'm talking about the various mainstream strategies, and I will talk about some of the work that is being done in India, and Professor Nagarjuna will be able to give you more details since he's there. Right to information law and freedom of information law has been used by many free software advocates to extract details about MOUs that are signed between proprietary software vendors and public institutions. And with the repeated use of right to information or freedom of information, we have noticed that there is less and less of these type of MOUs being announced. We hope that it is because of this demand for public scrutiny. Another opportunity, and in India this has just become possible. We have a new competition commissioner. At the moment, the competition commissioner is only focusing on medicine, but hopefully in the future the competition commissioner will also focus on the question of software and hardware bundling. This is another technique through which the monopoly of proprietary software remains, and if this can be legally challenged, as it has been done in many other countries, then it would be possible for free software to compete on more equal footing with proprietary software. Also, in the European, the Competition Commission was used to get Microsoft to disclose its file formats. That was particularly important in order to build competing free software applications. So again, that is an important opportunity. There is an NGO in Delhi called Knowledge Commons. They have filed some software patent oppositions in Bombay, the patent office in Bombay. So that's also an interesting strategy for mainstreaming adoption of free and open software. Next slide, please. As far as free software goes, we have a very rich ecosystem. I will skip this slide. I don't have to spend too much time explaining it. I think what is important to notice is that software and open source philosophy and methodology is now migrating to other areas of research and knowledge development. And the most recent example is the OSDD, the Open Source Drug Discovery Project by the Government of India. And if I'm not mistaken, they're going to spend $90 million trying to crack this problem of vaccinations for tuberculosis but now doing it in an open source fashion. Can we have the next slide? Yes. So with open standards, it's been a bag of mixed. There seems to be a national electronic an e-government interoperability framework that was published. There were some rounds of feedback. One is never really sure whether this interoperability framework has been finalized. But one can see across government departments an increased interest in free and open source software and open standards. That definitely is becoming increasingly clear. The National Electronic Accessibility Policy, again, very mixed results. There have been several held by the Ministry of Communication and Information Technology, but of late, some large private sector organizations, they are trying to block this policy or mandate. While they Should I stop? Shall I stop now? Okay. So the National Electronic Accessibility Policy has not worked out exactly as we hoped it would, but hopefully it can be redeemed. The national policy on open standards has been very, very controversial. Multiple questions on the question of standards, how many standards should be used, and the question of royalty free. And this is a long drawn fight, and Professor Nagarjuna is part of this campaign. He would be able to explain to you in more detail. It appears that the proprietary software companies have very large budgets for lobbying, and even though this has gone through several rounds of public consultation, we don't seem to be coming close to a solution. The last slide, please. Just to end with looking at open content, open educational resources, and open access. Some exciting news from India, which is the Ministry of Human Resource Development has announced a program called the National Mission for Education through ICT. They hope to spend $1 billion over the next 3 years. If open content is produced and licensed appropriately using an internationally compatible license, then the Royal Kingdom of Saudi Arabia would also benefit from this big investment in open content. And the content could be repurposed, translated, and also used within the Saudi educational system. The National Program for Technology Enhanced Learning is another important project. The Council for Scientific and Industrial Research, which has 37 labs across the country and spends $300 million annually, all their research outputs have been mandated to be open access. And finally, a private sector company in Bombay has successfully managed to publish 120 open access journals. And we can see the philosophy and practice of openness working for citizens, working for corporations, working for the government, and working for the academic sector. So it is indeed great progress that has been made over the last 15, 20 years, and both within India and internationally, things have changed quite dramatically. There is still a lot of work to be done, and all of you, my friends, in Riyadh, I'm sure you have thought about this and you are part of this, and together I'm sure we will achieve something important. Thank you.